All right. It is showtime, guys. What's going on, everyone? And welcome to a brand new episode of 27 Outs Live. If you're new here, I'm Ivan. That's my partner in crime here, Stefan. And we
Yo,
talk baseball here on the podcast weekly, So welcome to the show. I'm glad you're joining us. Now, if you've been around for quite some time, shout out to you guys, of course, as always. You guys already know how we like to start our Mondays off, right? We like to start it off with a fresh start when it comes to not only the channel being 27 outs, but when it comes to baseball talk in general, right? Now, before we get into what you see in the title of tonight's show, as you can tell, Red Sox, Devers, Giants, Ohtani's back on the mound, Dodgers. We're going to get into more, of course, towards the end of the show. So make sure you stick around for all of that and more. But I want to ask you guys, right? Before I tag you in, Stefan, I want to ask everyone, like, how's everyone's heart rate? How's the blood pressure? Because listen, man, Major League Baseball brought us on a roller coaster over the past 24 hours, and it was free. All you had to do was be a baseball fan. And if you're not, listen, you missed out on a whole lot of news.
Yeah.
We're here tonight to cover all of that and, of course, to have fun with you guys. But yeah, man, Stefan, listen, a lot of it, I would say, not even a lot of it. I think all of, what we're going to get into tonight, I found out from you. I had a pretty hectic day yesterday. Actually, sorry for those of you who were probably thinking about us yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you were thinking like, yo, is Steph and Ivan going to hit the mics? They doing the live show? Listen, if you were waiting for that, I'll say sorry. I was busy. But here we are, 24 hours later. I think things are still fresh. I think there's a lot to still, get into, especially when you think about our perspectives and the fact that you guys haven't heard from us in a week. But yeah, man, Stefan, I'm tagging you in. Start it off with whatever you want to get into, and I'll follow your lead.
so you know whose phone was busiest over the last 24 hours? You already know the phone was on fire last night. I'm talking about, you guys and our private chat and TikTok on fire and, my brothers and, people around the game. And so all I said was, I think it was 5 words. Rafael Devers traded to Giants, and the whole world exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Like that I put that on the TikTok, and within like 2 minutes we had like 20 likes.
My initial reaction, and this is not a knock on you, because I never, am against whatever it is that you share, especially if it's early, which it was. But I thought it was fake news. I thought, like, wait, I'm busy right now. There's no way I'm opening up my phone, and this is like one of the first things I see. That's how it went down for me. But go ahead.
So you thought I got hacked?
I thought something was up, bro. I thought. I don't know. Listen, I can't even put it into words, because obviously it was something that we've talked about on the show,
right?
So it wasn't something that you, especially, I must say, I don't think you were caught off guard.
No.
I don't think I was caught off guard, but I think for me it was really the timing. I would say I didn't think it was something that would happen. What, June?
Okay, so let's get into that, because you just led me to where I want to start off the show, right? It's not that Rafael Devers got traded. To everybody in the chat, what's up, y'all? Welcome. Come in. More, y'all. Come on. Let everybody know we live. Hit the outlet, hit the like, share, subscribe button. I want 15 of us in here tonight. All right, so let's get this rocking. It wasn't so much that he got traded. It's the timing in which he got traded. Because let's paint the full picture. We know he's been dealing with issues with the front office and the disconnect between Greg Breslow and him and ownership. We get it.
Right.
But the thing that I find hard to stomach as a baseball fan, forget about being a Red Sox fan. Lord knows I want to hear from TD. I want to hear from Sox Fan for Life. I want to hear from the whole state of Massachusetts right now, right? But as a baseball fan, Ivan, I just have to tell you this. That's a horrible time to make that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because of when you made the trade, you just swept the Yankees. You're in a playoff spot technically. They were the last wild card. They're over 500. They've been hotter than fish grease for the last 3 weeks. I think they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. And now's the time you choose to pull the plug? When you guys are starting to find a rhythm, everybody seems to be in their groove. Trevor Story's looking like he's about to turn the clock back to his Colorado days. The young kids are coming up. Everybody's excited. Rafi's doing what Rafi does.
Right.
But here's what it boils down to. What it boils down to is this a cold-blooded business, and people do not care about your feelings. You just swept the Yankees, so what? What that mean? You on fire right now, so what? What that mean?
He actually, and a lot of people were actually pointing this out too. Like, yeah, they did sweep the Yankees, but in that final game of the series, against the Yankees, he had a home run. Exactly.
He homered. Yeah, listen, he had a good Saturday night too. Double off the wall. Rafi, listen, minus the rough start, he was going to get over 280 at some point. He was going to do what he does, and I fully expected him to hit 40 home runs this year. Not having to deal with the pressures of playing a position, just focusing on hitting, just doing what you brought him there to do at this point. What I will tell you is it comes across as tone deaf. It comes across as callous. It comes across as cold. It comes across as you don't care about your fan base. If you're the Red Sox front office and ownership, I'm not saying that you didn't have to trade this brother, because we all know that was the likely outcome, because I was hearing this a month ago. If you don't believe me, there's a clip out on Instagram right now. There's a video on TikTok. We discussed this about a month ago, right? So pat us on the back, because we were now here telling you, yo, this brother's getting traded, okay? Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's just the time in which you do it that had me like, you don't deserve another star ever again.
Right.
If you're a Red Sox fan, how do you wake up today? And this is the question I'm going to ask you. Ivan, for as long as I've known you, you've been practical, you've been rational, you've been reasonable. And that is one of the things that I swear, and I mean this as a compliment. This man has talked me off the ledge from some of the craziest thoughts that I've had, baseball, life. Me and this dude, we talk. Like, you were one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Appreciate that, bro.
For real. Like, you even tell me, yo, that take is too far. That's too far. But even you had to be like, damn. Because even me, I'm like, yo, that's cold.
Mm-hmm.
You traded this brother right after they swept the Yankees. Everybody in Fenway jumping. The kids is here. Everybody kicking. You got the Yankees looking like they don't belong on the same field with you.
Right.
And you do it now? Yo, I got to ask you, how do you reconcile that if you're a Red Sox fan today? You're not, but put yourself in their shoes. How do you reconcile that, bro? Because I'd have been breaking shit in my crib. I'm
glad you mentioned Red Sox fans, because not only was it a big deal for them, but just baseball in general, right? Like, I had a feeling Red Sox fans were obviously going to feel a certain way about this, and for the most part, a lot of them are comparing this to, back when the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts to the Dodgers, right? Now, it's different in terms of how they carried themselves when they did wear the Boston Red Sox uniform. You were talking about two completely very different individuals in Betts and Devers. But at the end of the day, listen, aside from the beef that we saw unfold right before our very eyes between the Red Sox and Devers, you put all that aside, Rafael Devers is a top 10, top 15 player, healthy. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's with him just being in the batter's box. Forget the fact that he's a poor third baseman. Forget the fact that, he's led the league in errors, over the past couple of years playing third base. Listen, the dude is definitely a bat that you want to have in your lineup. And the Giants saw the opportunity and they forget hesitating, forget thinking twice. They just said, oh, you said what? Here's what we got for you. Let's get it done. Because I think had it gotten out to the public that Devers was actually going to be available, I think two things would have happened, right? He probably wouldn't be with the Giants, one, right? And two, quite frankly, and I said this to you yesterday, Stefan, I think the Red Sox settled in a way. I think they settled big time.
Here's where I disagree with you. Let's have a healthy disagreement. You know why they did the best they could under the circumstances? Because I don't care about the players. They got back nothing as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly, yeah.
You got them to take $250 million and eat it all.
Mm-hmm.
If you get somebody to take that contract off your hands, you don't care what you get back. You can get back one dead body. They ate his money, which I guarantee you 98% of the teams in the league were not willing to do at any point. The Giants looked at this dude and said, he's going to be a really, really impactful bat, at least for the next 4 or 5 seasons. I'm going to eat the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not worried about it. And listen, the Giants have been trying to give out money for years. Yeah. Ohtani, Judge, Harper, they've been at this for years. So if it took you to tell the Red Sox, yo, if you really think about trading them, we'll eat that whole contract. We'll send you a couple minor leaguers. You know what I mean? Like Kyle Harrison, they like a lot. The lefty pitcher who Boston optioned as soon as he got traded to Boston.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea that what it comes across as, did they settle in a way? Yes. But I don't believe they would have found a team that would have took his entire contract on and said, all right, bro, like we'll eat $250 million straight away.
And that says a lot, too, if you're the Boston Red Sox, because not only did you want to depart with Devers, but for you to get a team to take on the entire contract, meaning you don't got to pay this man a penny from the point he left. I mean, you were genuinely over and done with this guy. Like, it was a done deal.
And that's why I don't think they care. I don't think the Red Sox necessarily care about the return. Yes, you would have wanted a little something better, but they did you a favor. They basically took his whole contract and was like, we'll assume that. Yo, come here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're the Red Sox, you kind of win in that regard. Here's what I will tell you.
You get to reinvest that money now, too.
Do they, though?
Right.
Do they? Because we say that, but the question is, do you even think about doing that? Because we could sit here and say they can reinvest this money. They can go spend money. They can do what, like, where do they spend money on? Right?
I'm thinking two things, right? I don't think it's anything that happens now. Right. But obviously, when the winter comes, that's a time when you could revisit that topic. Okay. But also, we saw what they did with Christian Campbell, right? Are you looking to use some of the money now that you got back from the Devers deal? You know, do you want to extend Roman Anthony by a year from now, 2 years from now? You know, Tristan Casas, who knows what they want to do with him moving forward? But listen, it wouldn't be something that I think they're totally against. They've done it with one of their guys so far this season.
So, but here's the thing.
Or two, I should say, because also Garrett Crochet as well.
Garrett Crochet, that's nice. But, like, here's the thing. You just saved yourself $250 million over the next 8 years. That money has to be stretched out and spent on acquiring talent. The reason why I don't understand why the Red Sox pulled this right now was because, look, you could tell me situation was untenable. You could tell me he wasn't really feeling the front office. Razor, we're going to get to your point in a second. I just want to get this point out. Oh shit.
TD, what's good, man? Just
what's
in
good,
time.
bro? You just in time. Listen, this is what I will say. To me, I don't understand how you can tell a Red Sox fan today, yo, this was what's best for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If you really felt like he wasn't worth it, why the hell did you give him the contract in the first place? Because it's not like the ownership group changed, okay? Let's have a conversation about this, because everybody like, oh, ownership wanted to go a different direction. ownership wanted to do this and that, right? I have one question for you, Ivan, and everybody in chat, right? What changed? This is the same ownership group that was in power when he gave him the contract. The only thing that changed is that Hein Bloom is not there, and now it's Craig Breslow, but you still signed off on him getting this kind of money.
Right.
So what it shows me is that this ownership group doesn't know how to handle themselves when it comes to star players. They did this with Mookie Betts. They're doing it with Devers now. It ended kind of crazy it ends crazy in Boston.
Right. You know what I do want to say, though, now that you mentioned ownership and the fact that, once upon a time, this was the guy that they were going to rock with for the next decade plus, right?
Right.
Here's the thing. I read something earlier today. Maybe you guys have already heard about this. I wouldn't be surprised, but I definitely want to share it here tonight. So I heard that the Red Sox, obviously they gave him the money. Not only did they invest into Devers, right? But they also gave the guy what he wanted. Not just that, but the Red Sox, according to what I had read, they had an expectation and they believed that the contract that they gave to Devers, rather, I should say, came with, a little more responsibility, which I get. I totally get that. Like, we're talking about, listen, I know guys like Ohtani and Judge and Soto. Listen, that's money that many of us, our families all combined would never see. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, got you.
But in Devers' case, he got that deal during a time where it was a pretty big deal. And I shared this with one of my friends earlier today. We spoke about it briefly. Shout out to my boy Aristides. And I told him, I don't know if, listen, TD, I don't know if you felt this way. Stefan, I don't know if you felt this way or anybody else who's watching right now. Shout out to all of you guys.
For sure.
But I kind of felt like Devers thought that he was bigger than Boston, bro. We're talking about one of the most historic franchises in baseball history. And you're going to tell, not them telling you, you want to tell them after they invested in you and gave you exactly what you wanted, what they can and cannot do with you moving forward. That's problematic, bro. Like the Red Sox, listen, regardless of how you feel about them, they're not just any sports team. They're not.
Here's what I'm gonna push back on that. And you're not wrong, but I'm gonna take a different angle. You should have communicated with the brother better. You as the ownership group should have communicated this is what we expect from you, which they did not do. They didn't do it till it was too late. They didn't communicate at all because you traded for Bregman and you told his brother, yo, don't worry, we're going to move him to second base. Knowing you had Christian Campbell and everybody in the world, you had these kids coming.
Right.
And you sold this guy a bill of goods. So while Rafael Devers did not handle himself the best, he did not handle himself well.
By the way, Poppy called him out earlier today,
Poppy
which I like.
Talked about how his ego got the best of him. And I think if I'm really gonna be honest, both parties were wrong here.
Right.
But what it comes down to is this is John Henry, the Red Sox owner, going, yo, you know what? I flew to Kansas City to see you. Are you still acting up? Are we trading you? I'm gonna tell you this. This feels very Luka Doncic-esque to me.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I'm not saying it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But let's just put in context how young Rafael Devers is. 28 years old, in his offensive prime. I don't care how bad he is defensively, because we don't care about Luka Doncic's defense when this brother's putting up 40. I know nobody cared. If Rafael Devers is hitting 40 home runs and driving in a $120, we could stick him in the DH spot.
Right.
Which
is how the Giants view him, actually. And I do want to say something briefly. I saw a clip earlier today of the Giants GM basically, talking about their perception of like landing Devers.
Right.
And I think the question that was actually asked was something about, whether he saw Rafael Devers eventually playing first base for the team or not. And I like his response where he was like, listen, long story short, one of the only things I really care about right now is seeing Rafael Devers wearing a Giants uniform in the batter's box.
And we'll figure out the rest later.
That's it.
We'll figure out the rest later. That's exactly. Listen, look, both sides were wrong here. But I think this ultimately comes down to you didn't want to be the dude that had a malcontent in your clubhouse. I'm talking about John Henry. I'm not even talking about Craig Breslow or Alex Cora or nothing like that. This is strictly an ownership decision. This trade was personal. That you could give me the baseball side of it. Oh, they got this. They got James Tibbs III. They got I don't care. You traded this dude for personal reasons. Did he have something to do with those personal reasons by acting a fool? Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
But you were the same people that signed him to the contract, and not even a year after the contract, less than a year after the contract is signed, you basically offballed him for nothing. Because for me, they got back nothing.
Right.
Like, you didn't get back anything of value to where I'm looking at this trade going, you know what? The Red Sox did well for themselves. Now, the one thing you did do is you cleared your books.
Right. You recouped the money.
You cleared your books, which is the one thing you did do. But if you're waking up looking at this from a baseball perspective today, the Red Sox did not acquit themselves well.
Right.
This is why, for me, it feels personal. And honestly, listen, credit the Giants, credit Buster Posey for knowing that they are knowing what they needed, knowing what he wanted, not playing around, not having conversations about, well, maybe we'll wait till the deadline. No, he's available now. We're going to get him now.
Yeah, and one thing I want to also share with all of you guys too, Stephen, I told you this yesterday. This for me means one thing and one thing only, especially when you think about the fact that the Giants took on the entirety of that deal in terms of money.
Right.
This is because Rafael Devers fits exactly what they're looking to do, and that's take down the Dodgers. Yeah. They believe in their heart of hearts with the starting rotation that they have, with the bullpen that they have, and you guys have heard us talk about it. We've talked about it a couple of times.
That bullpen is no joke.
They believe that the addition of Rafael Devers, along with what they've already got going for themselves, because they were one of the best teams in baseball before even having Rafael Devers in that lineup. Let's go there.
Right.
Realistically speaking, you get what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Now, yeah. I just hope, and Rafael Devers, listen, it wouldn't surprise me if he's able to replicate some of, what he did in Boston now for the Giants. But I just hope that his numbers don't dip significantly because, listen, I know Willy Adames and Rafael Devers are not in the same stratosphere when it comes to hitting. No. But Willy Adames is currently dealing with that right now as we speak.
But I think Willy Adames felt the pressure of having to be the man. You signed a 7-year contract. Everybody's looking for you to be the man. I think Willy Adames is going to play better. That Rafael Devers is in the lineup with him now.
He's got protection.
Now I get to breathe. Now I'm going to just go out there and play my game. Rafi's going to be Rafi because I don't care where you put Rafael Devers. That mofo is going to hit.
Yeah.
He's going to hit. That brother was born to hit. He's going to wake up tomorrow and lace 2 doubles in the gap. Say hi to everybody in the press conference. He's going to hit. Right? And so, I'm fully prepared for Willy Adames' numbers to get better. Matt Chapman, when he comes back, his numbers are going to get better. Right. The guys that were struggling that you didn't know what you had, their numbers are going to take a next level because when you got, what I call them? When you got an aircraft carrier in the middle of your lineup that can just, hey, boys, jump on my back. Jump on my back and let's go. And if you don't think Rafael Devers is walking into San Francisco with something to prove, at least for this year, you are out of your mind.
Oh, and by the way, we haven't said it yet, but you shared something with me actually yesterday in the chat, Stefan. Aren't these two teams gonna go head to head later this week? I mean, according to the schedule, that's what it's saying.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm right here, glued to the TV, glued.
I mean, listen, last time I checked, I thought Blockbuster went out of business. They might actually be back in business this week.
Shit, hell yeah.
With Devers getting traded, Ohtani coming back, I mean, crazy.
It's, what's crazy is you sit there and we really think about how much the landscape of one division has changed.
Yeah.
The NL West was already good. Now I got to deal with Devers going to the Giants, the Dodgers being the Dodgers, Come on, help.
The Padres,
Help.
Padres as well. By the way, speaking of the Padres, and I'm glad this actually came to my mind. Before I ask you this, Stefan, we're already 25 minutes in. Shout out to everyone who's watching right now. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at 27outs3C. And if you're watching right now, which is the only way, via YouTube Live, hit that thumbs up button. It does go a long way. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. But one thing that we did talk about, I think it was maybe as of like last week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, pretty recent though, weren't like the Padres interested in like Jarren Duran or something like that. So now with Devers being traded to the Giants, I wonder, and listen, TD, I see you there. We're going to address the comments in just a bit, but I wonder, is that something that is still on the table in terms of the Red Sox, still wanting to maybe move on from him? Or is it something that now it's off the table because, well, we got rid of our best hitters, so we got to obviously keep somebody in the lineup, right? While Bregman is out especially.
Look, no, I'm not watching any games right now because I'm on the show with you. I'm trying to be as attentive as I possibly can. I'm not watching any baseball right now. I'm talking about the game with you. I mean, about the show with you guys. But look, ultimately, I'm a bookend this with this because I want to get to the comments because we've been at this for 25 minutes and I want to hear what you guys got to say. But it feels like both parties needed a fresh start. That's what I come out of here thinking, feeling. It feels like both parties needed a fresh start. I kind of would have wanted to see the Red Sox do this during the offseason just to see what they could have gotten a better return. But I understand the financial ramifications of this cannot be overlooked. Listen, but does it feel like Mookie Betts 2.0? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Does it feel like Luka Doncic? Just a little bit.
Right.
It feels to me as if these front offices don't have a grasp on how much the fan bases love these teams. And when you rip the star player, not just any old dude, you rip the star player from
your
them,
franchise player, yeah.
And you tell them we did it for financial reasons or we did it because we couldn't get along. The Red Sox look really petulant and childish, and they don't look like they could get the act together. And listen, Rafael Devers is an athlete. I expected a little bit of the athlete to be of a prima donna, to have his attitude, because he's the athlete. He plays. He grinds. He's different. But the organization to have that same philosophy towards its players, the Boston Red Sox should be ashamed of themselves today. Listen, and if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm boycotting Fenway.
Yo, now that you say that, let's get into the comments because I saw a comment here by TD. He says, and this is a Red Sox fan, guys, by the way, for those of you who don't know, he's done with the Red Sox this year. He's boycotting them.
Right. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him because that it felt personal. Like
that's true.
It felt personal to me. And
by the way, I don't want to go way back to like the whole Betts thing, but we're talking about superstars here, right? And Mookie Betts and Rafael Devers, obviously, both once upon a time supposed to be a part of the Red Sox's future for who knows how long. But the Red Sox, it looks like they got a thing with the NL West, bro. Betts goes to the Dodgers, Devers goes to the Giants. I mean, Duran possibly. I mean, who knows? He just might go to the Padres.
Listen, you trade Jalen Duran now, they're gonna burn down Yoki Way, bro. You crazy?
I think some of the protesting that we're seeing over on the West Coast might actually make its way to the East Coast, but in a different way, though.
No, it's. I'm gonna tell you this, man. This makes me realize I never want to be a general manager of any kind. I don't care how good I am and how much I know the game and how much people say, yeah, you should try this. You should. No.
I actually like the fact that you said that because I think in a situation such as the one that we're talking about right now, right? I think as a GM, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah,
you're damned if you do, because obviously, listen, people are pissed off. What the hell are you doing?
Right.
You're damned if you don't, because now you got people questioning, like, yo, what was the organization thinking about giving a guy like this over $300 million, you know? So you can really look at it both ways, realistically.
It's and the fan base, I don't blame the fan bases. I don't blame Red Sox fans for feeling like, yo, you're doing this right now. We just swept the Yankees, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They just swept the Yankees, and you pull the trigger,
right,
with no warning. You're like, all right, bro, we dumping your best player. Yo, my boy, good luck in San Francisco, my boy. By the way, his Kyle Harrison is Jordan Hicks.
Mm-hmm. And people who have been covering the game for years, because, you know, I've seen a few things over the past 24 hours gearing up for tonight's show.
Crazy.
And a lot of people are like, listen, whether you wanted to trade the guy or not is not our business at the end of the day. But when you did it, it's like, holy cow, what's going on? Because now, and TD, I think, you know, the comments that you've been leaving thus far basically confirms this. This season is a wash for the Red Sox. You could forget about it.
And you know what sucks? You know what sucks about that? TD, I'm not trying to joke, bro. I mean this with all sincerity. I know we kid back and forth and all this. Like, I love baseball, bro. For real. And I mean this with all sincerity, because I think people they lose sight of that and shit. Like, fans take this personal, man. Like, they get away from the struggles of life. They get away from all the things that they deal with on a personal level. You know, I'm going to watch the Sox tonight. Besides the kids, what's the reason to watch Red Sox games now?
Honestly, aside from the kids, the three reasons as a baseball fan why I was actually interested in watching the Red Sox was the addition of Bregman, which he's hurt now.
Right.
Garrett Crochet and the pursuit of trying to win the AL Cy Young in his first season with the team.
Right.
We'll see how that turns out.
Right.
And last but not least, the guy that they just finished moving on from, Rafael Devers.
Real quick, and here's the crazy part in all this. There's a good chance Alex Bregman opts out. Scott Boras is rolling around in his crib like Scrooge McDuck out here.
I wonder if we're going to have to come back to this, you know, who knows, later this year or whenever, if that does happen, to flashback.
I'm telling you right now, because I don't even care. I think Red Sox, Alex Bregman looks at it like this. Yo, if they do this to their own mans, imagine what they'll do to me, and I've been here a year.
Yeah. I told you earlier this year, and I said it on the show too, Stefan.
Yo.
He's hurt now. But while things were good, the sun was shining, despite Devers and the beef that he had with the team, that Bregman deal seemed almost damn near perfect. But coming from where he came from, being a champ, always being in the run for a World Series, forget making the playoffs, like the Astros, for as long as they had Bregman there, they were always in it for damn near the end. And he came into a new situation where it was like, hold up, like, I'm here to help you guys, but I don't want to be a part of this mess.
I don't want no problems, you know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, you said he's not going to opt out. I guarantee you two things are going to happen. One, he either opts out or they trade him. Alex Bregman would be out of his mind to spend another 2 years there. With all the dysfunction that's happened in year one, I'm leaving. Even if I got to take money and play less on one leg, I'm out. I don't want none of this circus. Yo, I'll go to Detroit. I'll be their DH. I'm good out here. I don't want no problems with y'all.
Right. I know AJ Hinch isn't gonna.
He's opting out, bro. Why would you stay there? Even if he's hurt, why would you stay there? You're not winning anything now. Opt out. So what if you get less money? If I go to the Tigers and win a World Series and make less money, he opts out.
Mm-hmm.
He either gets traded or he's opting out. There's no way a professional at his age, that's first and foremost, where you just said it, this dude's been in the playoffs every single year he's been in baseball. You think he's going to take this wasted year and do this again? I don't care there's 80 million. Bro, I'm telling you. If you told me there's 2 years and I get to sign Alex Bregman for 2 years, anywhere between $25 to $30 million, there's 10 teams in baseball that will do it right now. The only reason why he didn't get a mark is because what was he asking for? 8-9 years?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you bring it down to a more realistic term, yo, I'm opting out, but I take 3 years for like 25, 30 million. Teams be running to give the dude that.
Right.
And from what I'm being told, he's going to come back from this faster than they all thought he's going to come back from it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, look, he's too much of a professional. And I would agree with you if his agent wasn't Scott Boras. Scott Boras is sitting at the crib like this with the evil, with the, you know what I mean? When the dude does this, he's opting out, brother.
He's rubbing his hands like Birdman right now.
What?
Yeah.
I got to stay with this dysfunction?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I get it. Yeah, for sure. I hear you.
I
get both sides, though.
There is no both sides. Yo, you just traded your best player. What I'm doing here, bro? Money be damned. We're not making the playoffs.
Right, they're not. No.
Why? Why I'm staying here?
Mm-hmm.
When I could go, listen, the Tigers can use me. If you're telling me he's a primary DH, guess what I'll go back to? Yo, Houston, I'm coming home. Pulling a Justin Verlander. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm coming home. Are you crazy? If I'm Alex Bregman, I'm trying to get out there right now. Yo.
Mm-hmm.
Call Scott. Yo, call the office. Tell these dudes I'm on out, bro.
Right.
Tell AJ if he got a package, come get me, bro. You crazy? I'm out, bro.
Yeah. You know, I'm always, and I understand, you know, now that a lot of time has gone by, and now, listen, the guy's no longer the team, you know, it's as clear as day. But I understand, you know, it stems from the Red Sox not being upfront about what they were going to do when they decided to bring in Bregman. And, you know, they tried to like sprinkle out there the fact that, oh, Devers is our third baseman.
Yes.
Bregman is going to now be a second baseman. Even though, listen, fast forward to now, June of 2025, it was BS all along, right? But at the same time, if I'm Rafael Devers, and really take a second to think about this, because I want to move on to, you know, the greatness of the Dodgers and Ohtani and that fan base, by the way. I'm going to shout you guys out in just a bit. Yeah. But in Devers' case, dude, I kind of think, despite them not having a conversation with their franchise player, I totally get it. I think the Red Sox, in a way, were also putting Devers in the best situation for himself, if you really think about it, because he was only making himself look worse sticking at third base. Really think about it, bro. There was no positive impact coming out of that.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. All right, like, I'm not disagreeing with you. The last person to know that is the athlete. So while me and you may know that, me and you may say, yeah, he sucks at third. I mean, he's not good at it. Let me use the word sucks.
Bro, but it wasn't even with the naked eye, bro. The numbers for years.
I understand.
I'm sorry to say, no disrespect to Devers. He was a bum defensively. I'm sorry. He was a bum defensively.
I got that.
He's a god in the batter's box, though.
I got that. But I'm telling you, if you talk to enough players and you get to see how they think, they're the last person to know that they're bad because they think, yo, I can always improve. I can always do this. Players, they don't think like me and you think because we're just two bozo fans who talking for these things and we think our opinions mean more than they do. The players, they're not wired that way, right? Like they have a different outlook. Right?
Egos, they've been playing the sport for 20 plus years.
Yeah, like everywhere I go, my identity is I play third. My identity is, I'm a Boston Red Sox, I'm the third baseman. I'm Rafael Devers. When I walk into a room, when I walk into the spot with the Dominican Yamins, they don't call me Rafael Devers, the DH. I'm the Boston Red Sox third baseman. Shorty just buffed me off in the bathroom. That's how they identify with themselves. So I get it, but
right,
we're in a different time.
I do want to share one last thing about, you know, this whole Devers to the Giants thing. So Major League Baseball, they shared something interesting, you know, when it comes to Devers and how he has performed against every other team that's not the Giants in that NL West division, right? So outside of the Giants, because that's clearly who he plays for now. TD, I know it hurts you, but let it sink in, brother. I'm sorry. But Rafael Devers' career stats against NL West opponents, 33 games. We're talking 10 home runs, 30 hits overall. OPS damn near close to 900.
That's crazy.
That's against the Dodgers. That's against the Padres. That's against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that's also against the, unfortunately, Colorado Rockies as well.
Yeah, by the way, he's going to kill in that ballpark. By the way, as a Yankee fan, I don't do this often. TD, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say this to you. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I don't got to deal with this dude in the AL East anymore. Appreciate y'all. Good looking on that. Thank you. Means a lot. God bless.
For real. All right, so let's move on now. I think we've given this a lot of our time, but deservingly so, right? I know, Stefan, you had a lot to say. I, of course, did. TD is still going. Everybody else who's here, shout out to all of you guys. But I mean, are we genuinely ready, man? Like I have 3 words. I have 3 words to share with you guys. Are you ready? Like, genuinely, are you ready? Because, the dude is back. The dude is finally back to being a 2-way player. Not just yet. We got to wait till 10 p.m. tonight, especially if you're on the East Coast. But he's back, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm like, you don't even understand, right? Like, I'm not a Dodger fan. But watching this dude take the mound, I can't even explain the joy that I feel. Because I'm literally watching Babe Ruth.
And this is beautiful for the game.
I don't
let's really talk about it.
Yo, he listen. Can we just admit this? You're talking about this guy might be the best baseball player to ever live.
He's the best baseball player I've ever seen.
Like, and that's no disrespect to Judge and how great he is, and Trout at his peak because he was great. And yo, this dude might be the greatest baseball player to ever live.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how crazy that is.
And the fact that we actually get to see it in real time is different. Like, we're not hearing, because you know how, you miss out on seeing a certain player because you just either weren't into the sport or maybe you just weren't alive to see it, right?
Right,
so you hear it through the grapevines and, oh, he did this and he did that. But we get to see it live, direct, in real time.
Yes, and you could tell me, TD all day. Yo, name me another dude that can hit a ball 450 feet and throw 98 in the same inning.
Yeah, I want to ask you, TD. So if it's no in regards to Ohtani being the best player you've ever seen or that we've seen, then who's the best player you've ever seen?
And I'm just talking about from a physical skills standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I want to ask the chat right now. There's a few of you guys. That same question that I just asked TD. Can you guys just, and one player, don't give a top 3, top 5. Like, if you had to pick just one player, who was the best baseball player you have ever seen with your eyes? Not who your grandparents shared stories of, not who your parents shared stories of, not who you read about, who you actually have seen.
I will tell you, my list is very small. I will tell you, Ken Griffey's on my list. Ken Griffey was different. When Ken Griffey was in his prime, he was different. He wasn't normal. You look at a guy like and Mike Trout. When Mike Trout was in his prime, you could make the argument Mike Trout was the greatest 2-way player in the game for like 8 to 10 years straight. This dude was unbelievable. He was unbelievable.
Well, you mean offensively and defensively?
Yeah,
because nowadays being a 2-way player, you got to be Ohtani.
I'm talking about like being able to do both
on both ends, right?
Yeah,
right.
He was unbelievable. Then you got I didn't see Bo Jackson, but I see why people will say Bo Jackson played 2 sports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot of you guys ain't being honest in the chat, bro. Y'all being funny. I see Bartolo Colon, Jorge Soler, Eddie Encarnacion. Get
You
out of
guys
here.
are funny. Listen, at the end of the day, you can make the argument physically skilled.
I ain't arguing, brother. I'm saying it outright. I just want to make that clear.
Skilled, he might be the greatest baseball player that we've ever seen.
Oh, and by the way, for those of you who don't remember, tonight is the first time that we will see Ohtani on a big league mound for the first time since August of 2023.
That's crazy.
I mean, we're basically, you might as well just say 2 years.
And listen, I don't care if he gets shelled. For me, that doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say that I came back and I got on a mound about a year and a half after my surgery. Because, listen, dude, and this is what makes him crazy, right? He's going to go out and pitch, right? And no matter what he does, he can offensively impact the game to the point where he could give up he could give up a grand slam, and then he could hit one to bring you right back into the game. Right? Like he could get his
That's
4
true.
runs back by himself.
You know what I would really love? And I don't think this happens, right? Because he's probably not where he needs to be, but he's healthy enough to be able to be back on the mind.
I want to see him strike out the side and then hit a home run.
Thank you. Bingo. Yes, literally, word for word, bro. I would love, I mean, that would be straight out of a movie, straight out of a book, bro. Like, no better script than for Ohtani to go out there tonight, strike out the first 3 guys, and hit a leadoff home run because he's leading off for them tonight.
That's crazy, bro.
Man, I would love to see that. But one thing that I also want to say while we are on the topic of Ohtani now being back on the mound for the Dodgers, I want to give a very huge shout out to the Dodgers fan base, bro.
On
Stefan, you know exactly where I'm going. Yo,
Yeah,
forget
bro.
TikTok, bro. I can't even say just TikTok. I'm saying it now because, you know, over the past week, because you guys know how we spend our off days. I don't got to tell you. If you know, man. You guys ain't missing out on much because you're catching it live and direct. But for those who catch the show after the fact or prefer the shorts, that's how we spend our off days, right?
Yeah.
Putting out clips. But boy, the Dodgers fan base has shown us a tremendous amount of love on the channel here on YouTube, dating back to the offseason. They've shown a tremendous amount of love on TikTok since we've been on the TikTok, and that's what, like 3 months, 3.5 months, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys really show out, you know, and listen, I know here on the East Coast, a lot of people like to focus on the Yankees, the Mets, the Boston Red Sox, and I get it, right? But there's a fan base that really shows a tremendous amount of love, if not maybe more than some of these fan bases here on the East Coast. And that's the LA Dodgers, bro.
They come with it crazy. And they'll say the truth, too. It's not like they're just fanboys. We had somebody tell us the other day that they're manipulating the IL for these starters to all come and help. They outside when it comes to their Dodgers, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's crazy how you see how much love we get from them. And here's the thing. It's not like they don't know us. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. But even shout out to y'all for the people that's in here every single week.
Right.
That's big. But
for real. By the way, guys, if you guys are not following us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, you guys should start doing that, right? Because as the season goes on, like obviously this is the headquarters. This is, home plate to us, the YouTube channel, where you guys catch us for the live show. And thank you, as Stefan said, as always, right? But moving forward, we're going to slowly but surely branch out just a little more. A lot of things are always going to be here on the YouTube first and foremost. But with the way we're growing, especially on the TikTok, the IG as well as of late, like those people also need some love.
Yeah, man.
As we get later in the season, maybe September, definitely October. Yeah. We don't have an exact time frame. But some of these other platforms are also going to get, like I said, not the same amount of love that you guys, because we're here for an hour plus, but they're also going to get more of the instant reaction, shortly after something happens, shortly after a game ends, they might be the ones to hear it first, unless you guys decide to go bonkers. The YouTube channel ends up being at like 300 plus, 400 plus subscribers,
Yeah,
then
man.
we have no choice than to just bring everything here.
Hey, man, so that's what I'm saying. If you know somebody that loves baseball, tell them to come in. By the way, the new era of Red Sox baseball was ushered in tonight because Roman Anthony hit his he hit home run, his first home run tonight in the big league. So shout out.
Oh, did he? Yo, shout out to the rookie, man.
Shout out to the kids.
That's
man.
all you need is one. If you could do it once, you could do it again.
Oh yeah.
Wait, TD, what are you asking? He says, you ever watch Stephen Ivan the Bull? What the hell? What is this guy like trying to fuse us into like a baseball player or something? Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but that's what I'm understanding though.
No, because he left a comment a couple. He left a comment a couple comments up. He said,
Yo, look at what Shay can say. Justin Chamorro is the greatest of all time. Yo, by the way, Justin, I believe he officially graduated. I was looking at his stories, recently. He's officially a college grad. Shout out to him. I don't know, how the season really ended for the team and for himself, of course. But we will always remember Justin Chamorro, of course.
This is funny.
This guy, bro. Yo, we got a Sox fan for life, man. He ain't show up today. I was thinking today was gonna be one of them days.
He was at the game. He was at the game Saturday too.
He was. He did tell us.
Yeah,
he did tell us.
Game Saturday. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Also, I want to get into something else before we wrap up on this Dodgers topic because we still have a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
But did you guys hear about what Dave Roberts said about Roki Sasaki and the fact that the Dodgers just might be preparing to perhaps maybe not see him again, for the rest of the season? Are you believing that, or you think they're trying to, gear us up for a slam dunk in like September, October? He's back,
I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to shoulder injuries, you know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they say shoulder, you know what pops off in the brain. It's like the sensory goes off. He's done. The moment you start talking about the back of the shoulder, any part of the shoulder, and the moment I heard he's done with a shoulder injury, in my head, I'm like, he's not pitching in the big leagues again this year. Mm-hmm. When I hear shoulder injuries, I automatically assume that person's done for the year. You could rehab, you could do all that, you can try to get back. I get all of it, but there has to come a point where the human body's going to tell you, yo, I can't do it. Because you could throw pins all day, bullpens and sim games and all that. But when you try to ramp it up to get yourself ready to play in a big league game, shoulders are no joke, man. Shoulders are the one thing that if I'm a pitcher, that would scare me more than the elbow. Because at least Tommy John, I know there's a 95% chance I'm probably going to come back. Shoulder injuries, they're still trying to figure out what do we do? Mm-hmm. How do we determine how severe this is? So I believe Dave Roberts when he says, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think we see Roki Sasaki at all this year.
Right.
I don't, because you're starting to have to manipulate the body mechanically to compensate. If this doesn't feel right, then, he might blow out a hamstring, or this might end up hurting in the long run because he was trying.
And the game is played differently over here too versus where he came from in Japan.
It's the other thing is he's not used to pitching every 5 days. They pitch every 7 days over there, so it's an adjustment that he has to get used to. Mm-hmm. And I don't see him coming back. I could be naive in saying so, but shoulders are just those things are nothing to sneeze at. And then the thing is, he's 23 years old, so you don't want him to come back because he might be his own worst enemy. He might try to come back too fast. And if I'm the Dodgers, I want no parts of this. Mm-hmm. Just because of the money I paid him, the long-term investment I have in this kid, the future that I can see myself having with him.
Right.
Take it to the crib, young man. We'll see you next year. We can win it without you. It's
cool.
I
wanna say something that's gonna come off a little funny as well. Hey, shout out to Chad. He is
at
watching the show. Yeah, live from Yankee Stadium. Shout out to you, bro. Stuck to your word.
He's out. He's doing some what's that journalism from? He's on scene.
Yeah, exactly.
On scene journalism.
So I do want to say something that's gonna sound a little funny, but I'm also being a little serious too. With Ohtani now being back, he's officially a two-way player again, and hopefully he's able to get back to who we saw on the mound for the Angels, but now for the Dodgers instead.
Right.
If the Dodgers go on, I know it's still early, people, so settle down. All right, I just want to make that clear. But if the Dodgers go on and win the World Series, bro, I think this man deserves to be put into like a superhero movie, bro. Like Marvel, Capcom, I don't know what you call these companies out there, but they cut a check and you got to turn Shohei Ohtani into a superhero if the Dodgers win it all this year, bro.
Yo, your man could have his own anime series in Japan out here.
For real. Like, I don't know what his name would be as a superhero, but it got to be something.
Yo, Ohtani son, that's it. That's it.
Oh man! Crazy? Oh, look at chat with the update. He said Yankees Angels in the 11th scoreless, but never mind. Damn. Wait, so who scored?
The Angels scored because
Angels scored. Okay.
Yeah, I believe they were in the top of the 11, going into the top of the 11 scoreless. So
right. All right. So speaking of the Yankees, we still have a little bit of time now. But, another thing that we heard over the past 24 hours, because as I said, listen, Major League Baseball was giving out free roller coaster rides. As I said at the top of tonight's show, you just had to be a fan.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that we found out about was Yankee fans. I don't know if a lot of you remember this, but hey, he went by the name of Mike Stanton once upon a time. That dude is back.
I'm sorry.
How are you guys feeling?
I'm happy he's back. And you can call me, you're in the minority. You're just a Yankee fan. Listen, he did his 70 games on the IL. That means we're good for the rest of the year. Just don't run hard. You could jog from now to October. Jog, young man, jog. Because when it gets nippy outside, all I need is that big mofo helping. Because then we could do some things. So
I agree.
He missed the first 70 games. I ain't mad. Go heal up. Go get your elbows, your knees, your back, your this, your that. Get it right. Because when it's down to stretch time, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I have listen, after that postseason last year, if you have anything bad to say about Giancarlo Stanton, me and you cannot be friends anymore. As a Yankee fan, we can't be friends. I can't associate with you. I don't want to know you. I don't want to even pretend to act like we cool and cordial. If you say anything disparaging about that man, we fight.
That's true, man. Like, listen, I'm glad he's back. I don't think he missed out on much because the Yankees seemed to be perfectly fine while he was out. But at the same time, between now and October, dude, if you get banged up again, I mean, listen, at this point, we sort of expect it.
I'm cool.
But just make sure you put yourself in a position where you're able to make the playoff roster.
That's it.
Because I'll be okay with the rest.
That's it. Like, I'm at the point now where it's like the dude that plays 60 games in the NBA regular season, but in the playoffs he kills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who cares, bro? You could miss 120 games for all I care. Just when it's go time, you out here.
Right.
That's it.
That's true.
That's
true. And I hope the media and also Yankee fans, more importantly, I would say,
lay off.
I think the days of us being hard on, Stanton and really like just having these crazy expectations, especially now that he's an older guy, right? Like I know before when he first got here, it was a little different, but you got to take what it is that he's best at right now at this point in his career. And that's just being, healthy and being able to wear the Yankee uniform in October.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know what made me smile, bro? His first swing tonight was a ground ball. That shit said 102.1. I was like, you back.
That's good.
We back in business.
That's good.
First swing was over 100 miles an hour. I was like, all right, we back. You know what I mean? I don't care what you do from now to the end of whenever. That brother, if he's healthy, when it matters, regular season don't mean that.
Yeah, I think if you were to make a list of guys right now as we speak in Major League Baseball, and I'm only talking about playoff atmosphere. Obviously, like Steph has said, Stanton at this point, he's gonna miss 100+ games, perfectly fine. But cool. If you had to make a list of guys who you want in the batter's box come postseason time,
when it's nut cutting time,
he better be on that list.
Yo,
I don't care and what way you want to organize it in terms of who's first, who comes after. Stanton is on that list.
Listen, I'm putting Freddie Freeman at the top.
Right.
And then Giancarlo's right there.
Mm-hmm. Then you got Juan Soto
and
the
then
rest of these
Juan
guys.
Soto,
yeah.
And then
Lindor.
Listen, if you told me the list was Freddie Freeman, Giancarlo Stanton, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, blah, 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 I'm cool.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy, Giancarlo, hit 7 home runs in the playoffs last year, and it went further and further with each home run he hit. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to hear no slander about, he's never on the field, and he's never healthy, and they're paying him so much money. And yo, his money was just remade by those 7 home runs he hit in the playoffs.
True.
Conversation over.
True.
Done.
Yeah.
Because we all sit here and talk about, but I want my players to show up in the playoffs. He shows up. For as great as Judge is, Judge ain't Stanton. I love Judge. But Judge ain't that. That dude got it on autopilot in October. Son, I'm good.
All right, so before we get into the comments one last time, I do want to give a final reminder, of course. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All 3 are at 27outs3C. By the way, we are at 80 followers right now on TikTok. So 20 away, the big 2-0 away from the lucky number 100.
That's crazy,
bro. So if you're not following us on TikTok and you have an account, even if it's on the low, I know some of you guys don't really want to be out there on social media, but go ahead and follow us, man, because it does go a long way when you're showing love outside of the YouTube, of course. And speaking of YouTube, if you have not hit that thumbs up and you made it this far, please do so. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, of course, and definitely subscribe. And let's see what we got here. Shrek says that Sox fan is definitely crying right now. Maybe that's why he's not here. You're right. He might watch it after the fact. And if you are a Sox fan, listen, we're not trying to bring you down, bro.
Yo, this is a safe space, bro. It's a safe space. We ain't trying to hurt you, brother. It's a space. It's a safe space. All we're trying to do is understand. What Chris Rock said, I wouldn't do it, but I understand.
Yeah. Trying to see what else we got here. What else y'all was saying? Because I know earlier I had shown only a couple of them. Shout out to Ray, by the way. I saw your comment earlier. Shrek as well. I noticed your comment before the show had even went live. Shout out to you guys for stopping by and just sharing your little 2 cents real quick.
I appreciate it. We appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Also, Shrek, before we go, I do want to ask you, bro, what's going on with the Royals?
Word.
What's going on, man? Because listen, I know it's early still, but that Central, you got the Tigers, obviously,
they're running
front runners to win that division. But right now, you got the Twins and the Guardians looking like better teams than the Royals. That's crazy.
You talk about the Yankees losing to the Angels. The Angels just took 2 out of 3 from y'all. Looking bad out here if you're a Royals.
And also, Bobby Witt is in a slump right now, I know early in the year he was scorching hot. I don't know if it was the sun that was hotter or Bobby Witt Jr., but I think that ship has sailed now because the whole team, outside of some of the pitchers. Oh, and by the way, who was it that we heard about the other day that you shared with me, Stephen, from the pitching staff, that he's dealing with something right now?
Is it Bubic?
I believe it was, right?
Yeah, Bubic.
That's tough, man, because he was having a Cy Young type season.
Yeah.
Like he's up there with Max Fried. He's up there with Garrett Crochet. He's up there with Tariq Skubal. Like at this point into the season, he's up there with those guys. Like he's in that conversation.
Yeah.
He says the AL Central in general is at.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But you know what? You say that, Shrek. But as a baseball fan, I'm kind of enjoying the fact that it's now a 14 race again.
Yeah, it's neck and neck.
You know, like, I mean, obviously the Tigers are going to win that division. But in terms of now fighting for playoff spots, you got the Royals, the Guardians, and Twins now wanting to beat the hell out of each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. Not here for the Royals slumping, you know, because I'm not wishing that on you guys.
No,
but I'm definitely here
baseball.
to see other teams get involved, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just surprised they got off to this rough start. That's what I'm surprised by, considering how good they were last year, especially down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. But,
and the crazy thing is, too, like, what else could you really expect from a starting rotation?
And
I don't think you could ask for more.
And the crazy thing is, they've been unbelievable.
Yeah.
They've been unbelievable.
Like, you're in almost every single game thanks to that rotation.
Yeah, it's the crazy thing is, if they scored a little bit more runs, they'd be better off.
Right.
Better off. It's crazy.
This is true, Shrek. Coming into the season, you know, I had the Tigers and I also had you guys and the Royals.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, being able to be a part of this sentence right here that you just commented, but
crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because you know, it would be a shame to say that the 2025 Royals waste, you know, the pitching that they've gotten thus far.
Yeah. I thought Cody Bellinger just walked it off in the Yankee game, but he hit one to the warning track, runners on first and third, 1 out. He looked like he hit the shit out of that ball.
He says all of the AL Central is on a 20 game losing streak. That's crazy.
Damn. Pain.
Let me see, actually.
Pain. Nah, they a few of these teams are on extended losing streaks.
Yeah, like and this is just looking at their last 10 games, right? The Twins have 2-8. The Guardians are 2-8. Royals 2-8. The Tigers have you know, they've looked shaken up a bit. 5-5. They split their last 10 games. I see what you're talking about, Shrek. It ain't looking too good for that Central.
Jeff Passan put out a tweet and said the beautiful NL Central, and he showed the records of everybody last night. I was dying. I was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Passan is, by the way, low key. He's a follow on Twitter. He's a savage. I wanted to get into something on next show. Have you guys heard the stories of the baseballs being different?
Oh yeah, I did.
I'm dying to get into that. We're gonna do that on the next show.
I've heard other people, you know, a few people I've heard say things recently. I heard McCutcheon speak on it, and some other guys as well.
Yeah, so I want to get into it on the next show and see what you guys think, get you guys' take on that. But anyway, I mean,
it really depends on what happens between now and then, right? Because if we have another day or another couple of days, like the past 24 hours, I don't think we're going to come on the show talking about some damn baseball.
You might not be able to.
I mean, I'm just saying, we're here to talk baseball. But in terms of things being changed when it comes to the actual ball itself, I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
You might not be able to, just based on the fact that it's
yeah. But shout out to everyone who did stop by tonight. You know, as I said, you know, maybe some of you guys were thinking that we were going to go live last night. Didn't happen, but we stuck to the game plan. As you always know, every single Monday, you know where to find us, right here, YouTube, 9 p.m. sharp. I got nothing else to say, man. You know, what a day it has been for the show. What a day it has been for baseball fans. It's been crazy. Thanks for stopping by. Stefan, any last words? Because I think I'm good.
We ain't got to go home. Well, we got to get the hell up out of here because the Yankees got the bases loaded with 2 outs. I'm out.